Hello, learners. My name is Atisha, and I'll be teaching you commercial statistics. So, today we are starting with module 1 of your portion. We will be studying about what is statistics, what are the functions of statistics, the various scope of statistics, its limitations. Then we will also be studying about data and its types and classification. So is my voice audible and my screen visible to everyone? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Kindly reply. Am I audible and my screen visible to you or not?
Ma'am, audible, screen not visible.
Screen not visible. Okay. I'll share it once again.
Now screen is visible.
Okay. Okay, so let's start with the meaning, or you can say the definition of statistics. So, statistics is the science of collection, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of numerical data. Now, this word numerical data is very important. We will be continuously studying about two things. One is qualitative and one is quantitative. Now, by qualitative, whosoever is doing this, please stop. By qualitative data, we means the data which cannot be expressed in the form of numbers, like the qualities we're talking about: honesty, beauty, intelligence, IQ. So these are the data which cannot be measured in the terms of numbers, whereas quantitative data are those that can be measured in the form of numbers. So for statistics, we always need quantitative data, or I can say we need always numerical data. So statistics is defined as the science of collection. Firstly, we are collecting the data, then we are presenting it with the help of some diagram or charts, anything. Then on the basis of the presentation, the next step is to analyze the data, what is increasing, what is decreasing. And lastly, we have to interpret what we have studied in the given data, our final interpretation we have to give. We can also define statistics as a method of decision making in the face of uncertainty on the basis of numerical data and calculated risk. So let us understand this statistics with the help of an example. Here I have collected this data. This data represents the population of India 1951, 61, 71, 81, and 91. And corresponding to all these years, I have population of India in crores. Now, as we have just now started by the definition of statistics, statistics is the science of collection. Now, from where did I get this population? That the population of India is 36.3 in 1951. In 1961, it is 42.5. So ये data आपने कहीं से collect किया होगा. So the population of India was estimated through census method. Now, census means you might be heard about the word जनगणना, or you can say census. So ये क्या है census? इंडिया की क्या पॉपुलेशन है वो काउंट करने के लिए census conduct hota hai every 10 years. So for that, people go house to house and collect the data. How many members are there in the family, what they all do. What they all do and everything. So this comes under the collection part. After that, the collected data. अब आपने जो भी data collect किया है, the one who has collected the data might have written it roughly or not appropriately. So that data cannot be presented further. For that, it needs to be presented in a tabular form, or it needs to be presented with the help of any diagram or any graph, so that it becomes easy for the other person to read and understand what exactly has been shown in the data. That comes under presentation. After that, now, for example, here, now you can see from this table that the population of India is continuously increasing. In 1951, it was 36.3, then it became 42.5, then 56.2, then 61.8, 69.5, and so on. So you can see that the population of India is continuously increasing from 1951 to 1991. This is your interpretation. आपने data देख के क्या समझा? Population increase हो रही है continuously. Then last comes is the analysis part. Now you have to analyze the fact that what is the reason for this increase. ये जो population increase हो रही है over the years, what is the reason behind it? It can be decrease in birth rate. It can be it can be decrease in death rate. It can be increase in birth rate. It can be advancement in medical facilities. Anything can be reason. So that comes under analysis part. Collection, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of numerical data. This is what statistics is. Then there are various functions of statistics. The first one is it Yeah, it presents the fact in a definite form. Now, by what is definite form? ये जो word लिखा है हमने, it presents the facts in definite form. Definite form means when we represent our data in the form of numbers, then we can say that we are representing it in a definite form. So if you are not representing it in the form of numbers, if you are writing it qualitatively, so that is not a definite form. For example, if I say that the unemployment in India is continuously increasing, ये एक मैंने statement दिया. अब this is not a definite form. इससे किसी को कुछ idea नहीं लगा कि population of the unemployment in India is continuously increasing. But अगर उसको हम दूसरी तरह से या represent करें, the unemployment in India has increased 15% as compared to 2015. तो एक नंबर्स के फॉर्म में आपको आइडिया लगा 2015 में कुछ अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट था, उसका 15% और इंक्रीज हो गया है. सो दिस इज नोन एज प्रेजेंटिंग द फैक्ट्स इन अ डेफिनेट फॉर्म, और यू कैन से इन द फॉर्म ऑफ नंबर्स. इट सिंप्लीफाइज मास ऑफ फिगर्स. नाउ अब आपके पास जो भी डेटा है, you can represent that data in the form of histogram, in the form of frequency polygon, in the form of bar chart. There are a lot more options. So जो आपके पास बड़े बड़े फिगर्स थे, उन्होंने उसको आपने एक छोटे से एक डायग्राम के फॉर्म में रिप्रेजेंट किया. उससे आपको क्या हुआ? इट बिकेम इजी फॉर यू एंड फॉर एनीवन एल्स टू अंडरस्टैंड द डेटा गिवन. Next is it facilitates comparison. Now, you can present your data in the form of table, and it is easy to compare two tables. आपके सामने two tables है. You can you have their totals, you have their average, you have their variations, everything you have ready in the table. So then you can compare everything very easily. आप एक एक डेटा को पूरा line by line पढ़ोगे. अगर कुछ theoretically सब कुछ given है, दूसरे डेटा को इतना ही सब रीड करोगे, तो आपके लिए कंपैरिजन करना would be quite difficult. But if that data is presented in the form of a table, in the form of a diagram, in the form of a graph, then it became easy for you to compare the things. Next is, it helps in formulation and testing of hypothesis. Now, testing of hypothesis is another topic in statistics where we formulate a hypothesis, means we formulate a statement about the population and then we test it, whether we are accepting it or we are rejecting it. So all those testings can be done with the help of statistics. It helps in prediction. Now, future values can be predicted with the help of statistics. We have various statistical tools and techniques that helps with prediction. It helps in the formulation of suitable policies. The insurance company is the best example for this. So the entire insurance company is based on statistics. Statistics की help से ही वो अलग अलग तरह की policies formulate कर सकते हैं. उसी की help से उन्हें idea लगता है किस policy में कितना premium होना चाहिए, किस policy का कितना tenure रहना चाहिए. So all these are done with the help of statistics. Any problem to anyone till here? Anyone?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Then we have next is scope of statistics. There is no such area where statistics is not used. It is used everywhere, whether you study geography or you study zoology or you study home science or you study physics or you study math, economics, everywhere there is statistics. But it is not possible for us to study all the scopes right here. So I have written some of the scope of statistics. Now let us just discuss them one by one. The first one is statistics and the business. Now, statistics and business. Statistical knowledge is very helpful for any business to grow. With the help of statistical knowledge, you can formulate policies, you can prepare for the futures. For example, if you want to start a business of ready-made garments, so for that you need to do some homework as in you should, before starting with the production process, you should have an overall idea of how many products are to be manufactured, how much raw material will be required, how much labor will be required, what will be the shape, size, color of the garment to be manufactured. So all these answers will be given to you by the statistical forecasting for your business. So without the statistical forecasting, your business cannot grow in the right direction. Business and statistics go hand in hand. We have statistical tools like collection, presentation, analysis, and interpretation. You have to go through all these points or steps one by one to grow your business. Second is statistics and economics. Now, when we talk about economics, the words that came in our mind are exports, import, production, GDP, GNP, national income, etc. All these terms come in our mind when we talk about economics. So we study the structure of economics with the help of data only. So ये जो भी terms मैंने अभी बोले, प्रोडक्शन, एक्सपोर्ट, इंपोर्ट, जीडीपी, जीएनपी, ये सब डेटा किस फॉर्म में होगा आपके पास? नंबर्स के फॉर्म में होगा ना। चाहे कुछ भी लो, तो स्टैटिस्टिकल नॉलेज ऑफ ऑल दीज थिंग्स will help us to know the defect in the economy. हमारे इकोनॉमी में कहाँ डिफेक्ट आ रहा है, and once we know the defect in the economy, it becomes easy for us to find the solution for that reason, for that problem. Next is statistics and medicine. Now, statistics is used in assessing the effectiveness of various drugs. We have a test called t-test in statistics that is used to compare the efficiency of two drugs, means which drug is more effective as compared to the other. This is what is done in t-test. So t-test, statistics helps the healthcare professionals to monitor the patient's previous data, and it helps them to suggest the future diagnosis. It helps healthcare professionals to monitor the health of their patients, like using descriptive statistics, like they can monitor their resting heart rate, their fluctuating blood pressures, their fluctuating weights, their mean blood pressure. So all these things can be done under statistics and medicine. Then we have statistics and agriculture. There are professionals called agricultural scientists. So they use statistics to conduct experiments and make inferences. Inferences means result, to give a result about which crop, to decide which crop will give better yield on a particular land or with the help of a particular fertilizer. So we have various statistical tools for this, like we have a factorial experiments. We have ANOVA. ANOVA means analysis of variance. So all these factors helps agricultural scientists to come at a result about to which crop will give better yield with a particular fertilizer. We have a special institute called IASRI, Indian Agricultural Statistics Research Institute. It is located in New Delhi, which do all kind of agricultural researches. Then we have statistics and information technology. So information technology is also a backbone of anything now. Without the computers, without the information technology, we cannot do anything. Everything is online now. So statistics is used for data mining, traffic modeling, artificial intelligence. ये सब किस में आएंगे? Information technology में. But a statistical knowledge, a statistical background is essential to understand the algorithm. In सब techniques में, artificial intelligence में, traffic modeling में, data mining में, vision में, इन सब में, speech recognition हो गया, इन सब में जो algorithm हम use कर रहे हैं, वो algorithm को समझने के लिए it is necessary to have a statistical understanding and a statistical understanding to understand everything. Lastly is data science. Data science. Now, data plays a huge role in today's technology world. हर चीज में हमारे पास data है. A large number of data is available as input on daily basis. Now, a data scientist, ये भी एक तरह के professionals होते हैं. A data scientist is a professional who is able to analyze the data or clean the data. अब clean the data का क्या मतलब हुआ? Data cleaning means structuring the data in such a way that it becomes easy to pass it as input in any other machine that will profit the organization. So data scientist data cleaning, data structuring का ये काम करेंगे, and it will help them to take insights and make changes जिसकी वजह से उनका जो organization है उनको कुछ profitability मिलेगी. This is that comes under statistics and data science. So any doubt to anyone in these scope of statistics? Anyone? Next is limitations of statistics. So as I just said, statistics is everywhere. अब ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता कि किसी एक चीज के इतने एडवांटेजेस ही एडवांटेजेस हैं. अगर किसी चीज के इतने एडवांटेजेस हैं तो एट द सेम टाइम इट विल बी हैविंग सम लिमिटेशंस और सम डिसएडवांटेजेस आल्सो. So let us now study the limitations, or you can say the disadvantages of statistics. The first one is statistics is not suitable to the study of qualitative phenomena. So in the very first slide, I have taught you two terms, qualitative and quantitative. Quantitative means the data which can be expressed in the form of numbers, and qualitative means the data which cannot be expressed in the form of numbers. Now, statistics is not suitable for qualitative data. मतलब अगर आपको किसी भी डेटा पे statistics apply करनी है, then it is necessary that it is in the form of numbers. It is not, if it is not in the form of numbers, if it is in the form of some qualities, then statistics is not applicable on such data. We have to first convert the qualitative data into the quantitative one, then only we can apply statistics or any other, we can apply any statistical technique. Otherwise, it is not possible to study that data statistically. Second limitation is that statistics does not study individuals. So to study statistics, we need a group. For example, if you want to calculate the average, अब किसी single चीज का तो average हम नहीं निकाल सकते. We need a group on which we can perform our study. उसके बाद ही हम अपने कुछ conclusions या statistical tools and techniques apply करके कुछ result दे पाएंगे. तो statistics does not study individual. For the statistics, we need a group of objects, or we need a group of individuals. Next we have is statistical laws are not exact. So unlike mathematical and physical laws, which are exact, which are universally true, statistical laws ऐसे नहीं है. Statistical laws are true only on an average. एक approximate value के term में हम बात करेंगे, कुछ exact value के बारे में हम बात नहीं करेंगे. That is why we say statistical laws are not exact. And the last one is statistics is liable to be misused. Statistics की जितने advantages हैं उसके साथ साथ कुछ disadvantages भी है, and one of the most disadvantage is that it can be easily misused. So if a person who is having no knowledge for statistical tools and techniques, कौन से technique को किस तरह से apply करना है, so if any data is given to that kind of unskilled or inexperienced person, तो वो उस डेटा को पूरी तरह से मिसयूज कर देगा. जो रिजल्ट आएंगे वो करेक्ट नहीं होंगे. The results will be misleading. So this is how the statistical laws can be misused. Any doubt to anyone here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Next, we have data and its types. Now, what is a data? Can anyone answer? In general. Anyone? What is a data? डेटा इज सम काइंड ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन इन जनरल, कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन जो आपके पास है वो इंफॉर्मेशन क्या है, वो डेटा है. So data can be defined as a collection of facts or information from which conclusions may be drawn. कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन है, कुछ फैक्ट्स है, कुछ फिगर्स है जिसकी हेल्प से आप कुछ कंक्लूजन, कुछ इन्फ्रेंस, कुछ रिजल्ट दे सकते हैं, उसे हम क्या बोलेंगे, डेटा. Statistical data provide the type of information by providing a description of the present, a profile of the past, and an estimate of the future. जो भी आप स्टैटिस्टिकल डेटा है आपके पास, वो क्या क्या देगा आपको, अब डेटा में आपके पास क्या क्या होना चाहिए, प्रेजेंटली वो डेटा क्या प्रेजेंट कर रहा है, पास्ट में उस डेटा का क्या फॉर्मेट रहा, और उस डेटा की हेल्प से फ्यूचर में क्या क्या हो सकता है, एस्टिमेट ऑफ द फ्यूचर. दिस इज ऑल प्रोवाइडेड बाय स्टैटिस्टिकल डेटा. Now, we have two types of data. First one is primary data. Second one is secondary data. So what is primary data? Primary data means the data which is collected for the first time, or you can say first hand data. Primary data is also known as first hand data. Why first hand data? Because it is collected for the first time for any specific research or inquiry or survey. The data which is collected by the surveyor or investigator himself for any particular research or survey is known as primary data. Now, ये जो data है, this is, since this is collected for the first time, so we can say this is original in character, and also we can call it first hand data because it is collected for the first time for any specific inquiry. Let us understand primary data with the help of an example. If a researcher wants to know the impact of midday meal program in schools, school में जो they get meal, उस meal के बारे में अगर उसका impact क्या है school going students के ऊपर, अगर वो study करना चाहते हैं, then he has to undertake a survey and collect data on the basis of the questions on the base. For that, he need to collect data by asking relevant questions to parents and students about the efficiency of the midday meal program that is being conducted by the school. So वो data, एक researcher है, उसका एक particular survey है, midday meal program उसको study करना है. For that, he is collecting his own data. He is talking to parents and students and asking some questions and collecting the data. This is known as the primary data. किसी research के लिए particular data जो researcher ने खुद ने collect किया है, first time collect हुआ है, is known as primary data. The primary data can be collected by following 5 methods. So here are the 5 methods by which you can collect the primary data. The first one is the direct personal interview. Direct personal interview, as the name suggests, the one who is collecting the information, or you can say the investigator will go house to house, person to person, and collect the information personally, meets the informants. Informants means the one who is supplying the information, informant. Informant क्या हुआ? The one who is supplying the information is known as informant. So the interviewer, or you can say the researcher, or you can say the surveyor, will go directly to informant, meet them, and ask certain questions relevant to his inquiry and record the answer in the presence of informant only. This is called direct personal interview. Direct मतलब जो इंटरव्यू करने वाला है इन्वेस्टिगेटर, वो डायरेक्टली जा रहा है जो उसकी टारगेट पॉपुलेशन है उसके पास. Suppose if I want to conduct a survey on the students of GLA University BCom Honors Sem 2 regarding if I want to conduct a survey on the students of GLA University BCom Honors Sem 2, so I am the investigator. I will come directly to all the students. I will meet you all. I will ask you certain questions and record the information or record the data in your presence. This is known as direct personal interview, where the interviewer meets the informants directly, is known as direct personal interview. Now, this method is having some advantages as well as some disadvantages. So the advantages are, since the interviewer is meeting the persons directly, तो एक trust बनता है, आप शायद informations accurately provide करो, data जो collect होगा वो शायद reliable collect होगा. This is the advantage. But disadvantage क्या हो सकते हैं? Disadvantage is that the direct personal interviews can be conducted in a limited area or a limited field only. एक class में 60 students को inquire करना is possible, but if I want to inquire the entire population of that particular area, that is not possible. That could be time consuming, that could be cost consuming. So these are the demerits of direct personal interviews. And lastly, yes, personal biasness at the end of investigator. आपने रिजल्ट कुछ दिया, आपने आउटपुट कुछ दिया, डेटा कुछ सप्लाई किया, बट वो रिकॉर्ड कुछ और किया गया. तो पर्सनल बायस ऑफ द इंटरव्यूअर इज ऑल्सो अ डिसएडवांटेज अंडर दिस मेथड, डायरेक्ट पर्सनल इंटरव्यू. Second we have is indirect oral interview. Indirect oral interview. So by the term indirect, आपको शायद समझ में आ गया होगा. अब directly interview नहीं हो रहा है. We are including someone outside also. That is why we are saying indirect oral interview. Now, in this method, indirect oral interview, the interviewer contacts the witnesses, friends, neighbors, or any other person who is capable of supplying the information directly, जिसके बारे में information collect करनी है, उसे contact नहीं किया जाएगा. Some other persons who are capable of supplying the information for that person. It can be any witness, neighbor or friend, or any other third party who can supply the information will be contacted, will be interviewed, will be asked certain questions, and the data will be recorded. Now, such now, this type of method is preferred in case of fire or theft or murder, anything related to such kind of events. So this kind of method are applicable in only those events. Now, अब इस method की validity किस पर depend करती है? It entirely depends on the one who is taking the interview. वो कितना capable है third party से information निकालने के लिए, उस पर डिपेंड करता है ये जो मेथड है ये कितना सक्सेसफुल रहेगा. Again, this method is also having some advantages or disadvantages. So it does not require much cost, क्योंकि आपकी टारगेट आपको पता है, आप किस किस से इंटरव्यू करके इंफॉर्मेशन निकाल सकते हो. So you don't have to your area under consideration is not widespread. Your area is very limited, so it doesn't cost much, it doesn't consume much time. And the demerit is that the information supplied by the third party or anyone can be inaccurate. मतलब अगर किसी के साथ कुछ पर्सनल रिवेंज है, हम जिस भी पर्सन के लिए इंफॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट करना चाह रहे हैं, अगर उसके नेबर से हमने इंटरव्यू किया है, नेबर इज हैविंग सम पर्सनल रिवेंज, तो हो सकता है वो कुछ गलत इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड करे. सो द इंफॉर्मेशन सप्लाइड कैन बी inaccurate. This is the disadvantage of this method, indirect oral interviews. The next method is information from correspondence. The next method is information from correspondence. Now, correspondence means the investigator appoints or hires some local agents called correspondents in different places. Obviously, if I am the interviewer, it is not possible for me to go everywhere. So I will appoint some local agents in every area, and they will collect the information of their area and they will send it to me. I will compile all the information and then I will publish my information. This is known as information from correspondence. So the newspaper agencies use this method. The newspaper the head of the newspaper company cannot go everywhere to collect the information, so they have used this method. They have their agents in every area. They collect the information from their area, send it to the newspaper company. They compile all the information and then they publish it. This is information from correspondence. Now, again, this method is having some advantages and disadvantages. Now, first is this method is cheap. Cheap means आपके cost ज़्यादा नहीं लगेगी. Why? Because आपने हर area में अपना agent hire किया हुआ है, so उनका जो traveling cost वगैरह रहेगा वो कुछ भी नहीं रहेगा. वो वहीं पे रहते हैं, वहीं की information आपको supply करनी है. So this is not consuming very much cost. Demerit क्या हो सकता है इस method का? अगेन इनएक्यूरेसी, जो डेटा प्रोवाइड किया गया है वो इनएक्यूरेट हो सकता है. करेस्पॉन्डेंट क्लेम कर रहा है उसने जाके इंफॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट की, बट इट इज पॉसिबल दैट करेस्पॉन्डेंट फील्ड में yes, it might possible that the agent doesn't went in the field और उसने just information ऐसे ही supply कर दी, तो information inaccurate हो सकती है. Next one is mailed questionnaire method. Again, as the name suggests, mailed मतलब we are mailing something, कुछ mail करेंगे. Questionnaire मतलब एक list of questions बनाएंगे और उस method पे जो हम data collect करेंगे, that will be called as mailed questionnaire method. Now, under this method, a list of question is prepared and it is sent to the target population. मतलब अगर मेरा target population है BCom Honors SEM to GLA University, so I'll prepare a questionnaire. Questionnaire means a list of questions and I will send it to all the students of BCom SEM 2, and you will have to fill that questionnaire and send it back to me. This is called mailed questionnaire method. Now, with the questionnaire, I have to mention everything. Who am I? Why I am conducting this survey? What is the purpose of conducting this survey? Then I have to mention the timeline. ये questionnaire आपको इतने दिन excuse me, इतने दिन में fill करके you have to resend it to me. This is the mailed questionnaire method. Now, this the merit of this method is it doesn't require any cost. Computer पे बैठ के एक क्वेश्चनेयर बनाना है और वो सबको मेल कर देना है. सो ना तो कोई टाइम लगा ना कोई कॉस्ट लगी. This method doesn't require much time. This method is relatively cheap. But और कितना भी मेरा एरिया बड़ा हो, कितना भी वाइड स्प्रेड एरिया हो, मेल कहीं पर भी कर सकते हैं, इंडिया में बैठे बैठे बाहर भी कर सकते हैं. सो कितना भी बड़ा एरिया हो उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. बट द वन very important demerit of this method is that my informant should be literate. अगर किसी को पढ़ना नहीं आता, किसी को लिखना नहीं आता, किसी को मेल एक्सेस नहीं करना आता, so they cannot supply the information to me. This is the biggest demerit of this method. Secondly, ऐसा भी हो सकता है किसी ने क्वेश्चनर रिसीव किया बट मेल नहीं पढ़ा, मेल पढ़ के रिवर्ट करना जरूरी नहीं समझा. दिस इज ऑल्सो अ डिसएडवांटेज ऑफ दिस मेथड. There is a particular format in which you can prepare the questionnaire. So the number of questions should not be very much. बहुत ज्यादा questions नहीं हो सकते हैं. आप 20, 25, 30 questions नहीं पूछ सकते हो. You can ask 8, 10 questions and those questions should be in logical order. Mostly yes no type of questions are preferred. Personal questions like salary, marital status, these all should be avoided. Question should be in logical order. ऐसा नहीं पहले कुछ भी क्वेश्चन पूछा उसके बाद कुछ भी क्वेश्चन पूछा. एक लॉजिकल सीक्वेंस में होने चाहिए सारे क्वेश्चंस. So this is all about mailed questionnaire method. Last one is schedules sent through enumerators. Now there is a distinction between a schedule and a questionnaire. Schedule का क्या मतलब हुआ? एक list of questions है. Questionnaire is also a list of questions. Schedule is also a list of questions. But दोनों में एक differentiation है. क्या difference है दोनों में? Questionnaire is something which you are going to fill on your own. मैंने questionnaire बनाया है, मैंने आपको mail किया है. This is something you have to fill on your own. You have to supply the information. Schedule is also a list of questions, but an enumerator or the interviewer will come to you, ask you a list of questions, and he himself will note all the answers in your presence. This is called schedules sent through enumerators. यहाँ पर क्या होगा, आपको खुद से इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं फिल करनी है. एक लिस्ट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस पहले से प्रिपेयर्ड रहेगी. उस क्वेश्चन को enumerator or the one who is interviewing you will ask one by one. You have to give your answers and the answers will be recorded in your presence. This is called schedules sent through enumerators. Any doubt to anyone in any of these 5 methods for collecting primary data? Any doubt to anyone in? Okay, so next is secondary data. So secondary data is just the opposite of primary data. As the name suggests, secondary, the data which has already been collected by some other person or some other agency for their survey and can be used by anyone is called secondary data. The secondary data is also known as second-hand data. Why second-hand data? Because किसी और ने already उसको collect कर लिया था. That is available on internet, that is available on Google. You can directly scroll through and you can get that data who already collected है and anyone can use. That is why it is called a second-hand data. Now, secondary data can be collected by published sources or unpublished sources. So by published sources, we mean the various magazines, journals, journals by government agencies. So they are called the published sources. Unpublished sources means there are various libraries. उन libraries में भी बहुत सारे registers maintain है, record books maintain है. वहां से अगर आपने कुछ data collect किया है, so that is known as unpublished sources. Then we have classification. So classification means the process of grouping into different classes or subclasses according to some characteristics. Now, again, this word, some characteristics, is very important. Classification means basically we are making groups, but on which basis we are making groups? On a particular characteristic, on the basis of a particular quality. जो सेम क्वालिटी वाली चीजें हैं वो एक साथ, जो अलग क्वालिटी वाली चीजें हैं वो सब एक साथ. सो दिस इज नोन एज classification. Classification means grouping into different classes or subclasses is known on the basis of some characteristics is known as classification. Now, the best example of classification is post office. बहुत सारे लेटर्स आते हैं पोस्ट ऑफिस में, देन दे आर ग्रुप्ड इनटू डिफरेंट क्लासेस, मतलब सबके अलग अलग डेस्टिनेशंस है. सो ऑल दोज लेटर्स which will be going to Delhi, उनका एक ग्रुप बनेगा. All those letters which will be going to Mumbai, उनका एक ग्रुप बनेगा. All those letters which will be going to Bangalore, उनका एक ग्रुप बनेगा. So basically हमने क्या किया, हमने सारे लेटर्स को ग्रुप किया डिफरेंट क्लासेस में ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ कॉमन कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स. कैरेक्टरिस्टिक क्या रहा, उनका सेम डेस्टिनेशन. जिन भी लेटर्स का डेस्टिनेशन सेम है दैट विल फॉर्म वन ग्रुप. जिन भी डेस्टिनेशन का लेटर्स का नेक्स्ट डेस्टिनेशन है दे विल फॉर्म अनदर ग्रुप. लाइक दिस वी विल क्लासिफाई आवर डेटा इन अ पोस्ट ऑफिस. Now, why are we doing classification? What is our objective for doing classification? First is it condenses the mass of data in an easy form. अब आपके पास जब पोस्ट ऑफिस में लेटर्स आए तो एक पूरा बल्क आया, पूरा मास ऑफ लेटर्स था. उन लेटर्स को देख के तो नो वन कैन अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज दिस, कौन सा लेटर कहाँ जाएगा. सो फॉर दैट आपने क्या किया, उन सबको अलग अलग कैटेगरीज में डिवाइड किया. उसके बाद यू कैन लेबल दोज कैटेगरीज. कैटेगरी नंबर 1, ऑल दोज लेटर्स विल बी डिस्पैच टू मुंबई. कैटेगरी नंबर 2, ऑल दीज लेटर्स विल बी डिस्पैच टू चेन्नई. कैटेगरी नंबर 3, all these letters will be dispatched to Bangalore, like this way. So आपके पास जो इतना बल्क में लेटर्स था, the mass of data, उसको आपने एक easy form में कन्वर्ट कर दिया. आप easily उस डेटा को समझ सकते हो कि वो लेटर्स सारे एक ही डेस्टिनेशन के हैं. It eliminates unnecessary details. Unnecessary details means there is possibility that some of the letters will not have proper address. किसी कुछ लेटर्स होंगे जिसमें प्रॉपरली एड्रेस मेंशन अगर नहीं है तो यू डोंट नो उस लेटर को कहाँ भेजना है, उसको किस तरह से आप सेग्रीगेट करोगे. तो आप वो लेटर्स को सेग्रीगेट कर दोगे, हटा ही दोगे, सेपरेट कर दोगे. बाय दिस वी मीन एलिमिनेटिंग अननेसेसरी डिटेल्स. It facilitates comparison and highlight the significant aspect of data. आपने डेटा को जब क्लासिफाई कर दिया है, यू हैव प्रेजेंटेड योर डेटा इनटू वेरियस कैटेगरीज. नाउ इट बिकम्स इजी फॉर एनीवन टू कंपेयर टू टाइप्स ऑफ डेटा. उस डेटा की हाइलाइट्स क्या है आप वो इजीली शो कर सकते हो. इट हेल्प्स वन टू गेट अ मेंटल पिक्चर ऑफ द इंफॉर्मेशन एंड हेल्प्स इन ड्रॉइंग इन्फ्रेंसेस. नाउ अब वो क्लासिफाइड डेटा को देख के any unknown person can also have a clear picture in their mind कि इस data में क्या represent किया गया है, because all the unnecessary details are eliminated. We have presented it in easy form. We have highlighted its important features. Now anyone can understand, can have a clear picture in their mind. so that they can easily draw some conclusions. It helps in the statistical treatment of the information collected. Now, अब ये जो इंफॉर्मेशन आपके पास आ गई है जिसको हमने क्लासिफाई कर दिया है, उसके ऊपर आप कुछ भी स्टैटिस्टिकल ट्रीटमेंट, मींस इफ यू वांट टू कैलकुलेट देयर एवरेजेस, इफ यू वांट टू कैलकुलेट देयर correlation, if you want to calculate their regression, any other statistical treatment you can apply on that. So these are the objectives of classification. Then we have types of classification. There are 4 types of classification. First one is chronological classification. Then we have geographical classification, qualitative classification, and quantitative classification. Now let us understand these one by one. Chronological का क्या मतलब होता है? In accordance to time के रेस्पेक्ट में, मतलब हमने ये पढ़ा था क्लासिफिकेशन में that we will be making groups on the basis of some characteristics. So now in chronological classification, what is the characteristics? The characteristics is time. We are classifying the data on the basis of time. If the collected data are arranged in according to the order of time, it can be in years, months, weeks, days, is known as chronological classification. So examples of chronological classification are the data related with population, sales of a firm, import, export. For example, if I make this table, so this is what? This is a chronological classification. I have made this table estimates of birth rate. ये birth rate बताए हैं with respect to years. Years मतलब वो time के basis में हो गया. So this is an example of chronological classification जब हम data को classify करेंगे with respect to time. Second one is geographical classification. Geographical classification means the classification in which the data are classified on the basis of geographical boundary or region or area or place. अगर हम किसी particular जगह को ध्यान में रखकर classification कर रहे हैं, then it is known as geographical classification. So for example, the production of wheat in different countries. So we can show it like this. Country, and we have field of wheat. So you can write various countries: Mexico, Denmark, China, France, etc. So this is the geographical classifications. What we have done, we have classified our data on the basis of geographical boundaries. हमने अलग-अलग country wise production of wheat बताया है in kilogram per acre. सो मैक्सिको में कितना हो रहा है, डेनमार्क में कितना हो रहा है, चाइना में कितना हो रहा है, फ्रांस में कितना हो रहा है. दिस इज द ज्योग्राफिकल क्लासिफिकेशन. Then we have qualitative classification. Qualitative classification means अगर हमने जो data classify किया है, that is on the basis of a certain quality. अब quality कुछ भी हो सकती है, that can be gender, literacy, religion, employment, marital status, anything. So that is known as qualitative classification. Now, when the classification is done with respect to only one attribute, अगर हमने किसी भी one quality या one attribute को consider करके ही अगर classification किया है, then it is known as simple or dichotomous classification. And if the classification is done with on the basis of two or more attributes, then it is called manifold classification. For example, suppose we have a population. उस population को first हमने gender के basis पे classify किया. Male and female. Firstly हमने population को किस basis पे, gender के basis पे classify किया, male and female. So only one attribute is used. This is simple classification. फिर हमने इस को फिर से classify किया. Population को पहले हमने two groups में divide किया on the basis of gender. Now again we are dividing it into two parts, employed or unemployed. Females को भी same हमने divide कर दिया, employed and unemployed. Okay. उसके बाद फिर से हमने इनको इनके marital basis पे divide कर दिया, married, unmarried. Employed को भी married, unmarried. Similarly here, married and unmarried. Here also married and unmarried. So this is called manifold classification. सबसे पहले आपके पास एक population था, हमने उसको divide किया on the basis of gender, means हमने उसको classify किया on the basis of gender, male and female. Then on the basis of employment, we have again grouped them on the basis of employed and unemployed. Again, we have classified the data on the basis of their marital status, married or unmarried. So this is called manifold classification, जिसमें हमने more than one categories use की है. And we have, since we have used only the qualitative characteristics, so that is why this is known as a qualitative classification. And lastly, we have quantitative classification. Quantitative classification means this type of classification refers to the classification of data according to some characteristics that can be measured. Now, quantitative data means that can be measured. कुछ quantity रहेगी, अब quantity, height, weight, etc. कुछ भी हो सकती है. So these are known as quantitative classification. Example, the students of a college may be classified according to their weight. Now weight is a quantitative characteristics. Weight मतलब कुछ numbers रहेंगे आपके पास, so that indicates this is a quantitative classification. Yes. Any doubt to anyone? Any doubt to anyone? Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you so much. I'm concluding today's session here. We will continue our session in the next lecture. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.